lot of what I'll say probably will sound like a repeat, but this is my only chance, so I'm going to take it. So, good afternoon, fellow students, family members, and vcdh faculty. I welcome all of you. And I would like to congratulate all of you for making this graduation possible. We wouldn't be here without your love and support. And on that note, I would like to thank, firstly, our most excellent dean, Dr. Boris Pulek, and our co-founder, Ms. Lydia Di Nicolo. If it wasn't for your vision, we wouldn't have had this sister school in Vancouver, and if there was no vcdh, we wouldn't be here today. And so thank you for that. I would also like to thank two fantastic women, our program coordinator, Ms. Gabriel Major, and assistant to Dean, Jeannie Villanueva. Between the two of them, they run a really, really tight ship. They pay attention to the smallest detail, and they make everyday classes and events appear to flow in this seamless and effortless way. And we all know how much effort that actually takes. And so thank you for all your love, your dedication, and integrity. We truly appreciate it. I could not begin to thank our family members enough. They play such an integral role in our lives, and they're the ones who have pushed us and helped us to make our dreams possible. And I say this especially on behalf of all those students who have partners, spouses, children, and appreciate how much effort it takes for someone to let you have that time to yourself so that you can achieve your dreams. And I think that takes true sacrifice. And so, thank you to all the husbands that accepted TV dinners as a way of life, to all the kids that got to know their babysitters better than their moms, and to all the parents that co-signed away their lives on those bank loans. And all I can say is I hope that you knew what you were getting into. When I first joined vcdh, my only thought was to be done with studying in the shortest amount of time and start cleaning teeth as soon as possible. But now, nearly 18 months, 2 weeks, 2 days, and about 14 and a half hours later, I stand before you, a proud vcdh graduate, and realize that there is so much more to this program than just a diploma in my hand. And all of this is not just because we've come away with a higher than average national score on the National Dental Board exam, though I think that's pretty cool. And pat yourself on the back. But it's because we've had a really great relationship with the school's excellent faculty. And though a lot of the staff couldn't be here because of their duties, and I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank Mrs. Mersick for her elaborate and interactive PowerPoints, and Mrs. Weimer for taking the effort to bring coffee, cookies, and fudge. Those Monday morning lectures would have been totally unbearable without them. Mr. Cadman for making us realize that sometimes a beautiful pen illustration can express 1,000 ideas. And Ms. Cunningham, who managed to do the same without ever picking one up. Mrs. Chor for making us promise to always keep our knowledge current. Ms. Maybe for making semester 3 and 4 the most fun we've ever had. We can say with all confidence now that we know how to drape those saris and know the correct etiquette of eating with chopsticks. We know some really mean self-defense moves. And hopefully we all also know how to fold fitted sheets. I'd like to thank Dr. Sheedy for teaching us not only professional issues in microbiology, but also giving us lessons in aerobics, astrophysics, current affairs, and most importantly, introducing us to the joys of listening to Shaka Khan. I would also like to extend a special thank you to all those instructors in clinic, Mrs. Chor, Mrs. Mozichuk, Miss Mozichuk, Miss Maybe, Miss Cunningham, Mrs. Kang, Mrs. Soler, Mrs. Sullivan, Dr. Wu, and Dr. Kakwani. I know they're not here, but your confidence in us and your patience during clinic have allowed us to grow as clinicians. And when we walk out these doors today and start practicing, every x-ray that we take, every pocket that we explore, and every fulcrum that we apply, you will be foremost in our thoughts. Our class size is quite small, but apparently we project such a good image that the staff calls us the gentle group. But I have to say that we have gone through the entire gamut of the big roller coaster of emotions. We have shared each other's lives, and we've celebrated each one's achievements as one. We celebrated Anna's daughter's 3rd birthday and Jyoti's 21st. There were a couple of 33s and 35s, but I'm not going to talk about those. 3 of our friends got engaged, and we've all been giving them unsolicited advice on marital bliss and silently comparing the size of their diamond with ours. We made some road trips to Whistler, shopping trips to Seattle in the pouring rain. We comforted one another through the woes of towed cars, overwhelming cascade of projects, and learned to make the GPS our best friend because of all those community presentations. And at the end of the day, we have emerged as strong men and women and have made some lifelong friends. Before I take your leave, I'd like to share a really small incident that occurred a few days back. A couple of days back, I took my son for his annual dental visit, and for those of you who have met him in clinic know that he is an extremely active 7-year-old. I volunteered to be present during the appointment to make sure it went smoothly, and I found myself distracting my son using voice modulation, patient participation, using Mr. Thirsty. And the techniques were so beneficial that the appointment went smoothly. And so at the end of it, my thoughts were, what do you know? DHF3, Guidance Cooperation Model. It works. So Mrs. Cho, you totally rock. I was thrilled that I had found practical application in real life setting. And the reason I share this with you is to remind all of us that what we have learned today is never forgotten. We never stop learning. And the knowledge we have today makes us better people. And as each of you go ahead on that path of your brilliant career, be it clinician, or a private practice owner, or invention of new scalers, or even the registrar, never forget to make every moment count and enjoy every second as if it were your last. Because as Albert Einstein says, everything that can be counted does not necessarily count, and everything that counts cannot necessarily be counted. Thank you.
Aren't you glad you picked her? Okay, so we're going to present the diplomas, and finally you guys are going to get your hands on a diploma. And so we're going to read them alphabetically. They're going to come up from this side and cross over. So family members, when you know your person is coming up, you can come down in the front and take the opportunity to take some photos with them getting their diplomas.
Oh, I'm first. You want me to?